What is up, everybody, and welcome to another Kin Stretch class brought to you by Stretch Effect. I'm Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through the class today. So the focus of today's class is going to be on hip flexion and hip extension. So the hip flexors are a very common area that people experience a lot of tightness and tension in, whether they're sitting a lot at their desk, whether they're sitting in a car, whether they're sitting on a plane. As the hip flexors can get tight, it can restrict our areas of motion when we go through walking, running, lifting, really anything we do with the hips, right? So this class is really going to be focused on really opening them up with some stretching, but then definitely kind of helping cement those gains with strengthening, with true mobility training. So really going to be focusing on trying to stretch them out with our what we call hip extension pills and rails, and then strengthen them with what we call hip flexion pills and rails. So I will take you through the whole protocol when we get there, but to focus on really the hips, we really want to help open up the lower body, right? So we're going to start with a quadruped hip car. Okay, so I'm focused on keeping my hands under my shoulders and then my hips right in line with my knees. Okay, so my core will be engaged. I'm going to spread the floor with my hands, right? So I'm going to measure, I have a line down my hands here on my rubber mat. And I'm going to try to pull the ground apart. That will give me some tension through the shoulders to make sure that as I move through the hip, nothing else in our upper body is moving, going off to the right. Okay, so we'll go 3 reps, quadruped hip cars on the right, and we'll go 3 on the left. Okay, so I'm going to start pulling my right knee up towards my right elbow. I'm going to lift my right knee out to the side, rotate my heel up to the sky as I come over the top and through. So this motion here pulling up would be hip flexion, and then as I grab my heel to the sky, that's hip extension. One thing with hip extension, you want to make sure that we're not getting lumbar or spine extension, lower back extension as I go through hip extension. Once I heel to the sky, feel that glute turn on, and rotate knee out to the side, and come back here in my start position. 1 rep, let's go 2 more. Knee up, knee out, heel comes up, and around and through, and reverse, heel up, out to the side, and around. So 1 more rep there, nice and slow. Every rep of our cars is always trying to get a little bit bigger each time. Isolate just that hip, just that joint we're working on as I come over the top, back through. So 3 on my left. Same thing as the other side. We'll go hands under the shoulder, knee right under the hip. And as you got this line down the middle of your hands, try to pull that line apart. That gives me tension through the shoulders. If you need to get better balance, you can pull your knees a little bit closer towards the midline. I'm going to go left knee towards left elbow, up to the side, rotate the heel up to the sky, and around and through, and reverse. Heel to the sky, knee rotates out to the side, and do another 2 more there. Move up, that's hip flexion. Knee out, round over the top, and through, and reverse. Hip extension, out to the side, and around. Okay, so 3rd rep, getting even bigger with that hip rotation. Walk in that core even more. Really work on only isolating that hip. Get the most out of it we possibly can so we can make sure it moves well when we go into our pills and rails and other strengthening activities. Next one we're going to do is our knee rotation. So we're working on the knee today, even though we're not doing a whole lot of knee work. We really just want to make sure that we can get a good understanding of how the knee functions, and then we get a better understanding of our knee cars, so you can do them on your own, right? So the knee, everyone always thinks about as a hinge joint, which it does, right? But we also need to make sure that we have rotation in that knee joint. The better my knee can rotate internally and externally, the better I'm going to be at flexion and the extension. Okay, so we just want to take the right arm, we're going to hook it under. For today, we're just going to do capsule cars. So I'm going to think heel will be in the floor, so that's kind of my axis point. I'm going to take my left hand, grab that shin. If you want to take your right hand to the bicep, you can do that. And then I'm just going to use this hand to guide my shin into external rotation. Okay, so I want to actively do it as well, but use the hand to guide it out. Use the hand, guide it into internal rotation. So that's 1. Let's go 2 more. So we go external rotation, so you should feel spine of that tibia rotating out. You can even take your hands here and grab the shin and rotate, help guide it into internal rotation. Internal rotation, you're always going to have a little bit less going in than out. Never done this before, it's going to be quite new, so it might take some practice. But over time, we'll be able to get to the point where we can just rotate actively in, rotate actively out. Okay, let's go to the sides. Put the left arm under the left knee. Right arm will go, in this case, we'll go to the shin. And then I'll grab the bicep just to kind of put my femur, my upper leg, in a headlock here so that this doesn't allow femur rotation and make sure I can get all my rotation from the tip. Okay, so grab that shin. Right there, get set up. And I'm going to externally rotate. So think actively externally rotate, but also use the hand to guide it out. And then internally rotate. Rotate that tibia in. Feel that rotation at the top of the knee as I rotate out. Rotate in. One more rep, rotate external, rotate internal. Okay, from there, let's go to our ankle cars. So I'll do it side. So if you have a yoga block, you can throw your calf on top of the yoga block. If not, you'll put your foot on its side and you'll throw your calf right on top of the side of your foot. Okay? We're gonna hold the femur in place. So make sure as I rotate my ankle, I'm not rotating at the leg, right? So I'm gonna hold in place here and set nice and tall. We're just gonna go 2 ankle cars each direction. We're gonna point that toe, do as much plantar flexion as we can. I'm gonna rotate in. I'm gonna come up while I'm still in, pull it up over the top. I'm gonna rotate out, stay out, press down. Let's go one more rep that same direction. So we're down and in, stay in, pull up, stay up, rotate over the top, rotate out, stay out, press down. Okay, let's reverse back the other way. Stay down, go out, stay out, come up, over the top. So now we're in, then we'll press down, and one more time, out and up, stay up, rotate in, and down, and in. Okay, so let's switch. Side of my foot's on the floor. I'll put my left calf on top of that side of that foot. I'm going to hold the leg in place, make sure the leg doesn't rotate, and I will point that toe. Okay, so you want to imagine the big toe is like a marker, and you're just trying to draw the biggest, cleanest circle you possibly can. Over time, work to smooth out that rotation, right? So if I'm down and in, stay in, come up and over, point out, and down. Okay, one more time. In and down, in and up, over the top, come out, and point down. So you may notice one side is a little bit better than the other, maybe not quite as good. So it's always about trying to draw the biggest circle with that joint and that joint only. Okay, so make sure the leg isn't rotating. With the knee locked out, you're not going to be able to rotate out the tibia, so that's why we kind of go here, but we hold the femur. Make sure that the femur doesn't rotate. The last one, up and over, come down, point that toe, and through. Okay, so our last one of our lower body cars for today, we're going to get into our toe cars. The toe cars are something that we throw in just because everybody needs more work with their feet. A lot of people, because we wear shoes all the time, we're not really going to be able to have a whole lot of individual control of our toes. So the healthier our toes, the healthier our feet, the healthier our ankles, the healthier we are in the chain, right? So I'm going to lift all my toes, keeping the balls of my toes on the floor. I'm going to spread those toes as much as I possibly can. That's called abduction. Just trying to splay as much as you can here. I'm going to place them all on the ground with them spread apart as much as possible. Okay? From here, I'm going to take 4 toes down. I'm going to lift just my big toes. Come back down. Lift big toes. Back down. Last one, lift big toes. Come back down. So if you find that really challenging, you can always just focus on one foot at a time. Give your brain just one thing to focus on. Or if you have a hard time keeping your 4 toes down, you can always hold the 4 toes and just work on isolating that big toe as you go up into extension. Okay, from here, let's lift all the toes again, place them on the ground, spread those toes. keeping the balls of your toes on the floor, right? So we're gonna press the big toe down, just like the four toes. Your body may want to rotate in at the ankles to kind of help you get that lift. So try to think ball of your pinky toe stays down, and we're just lifting the four toes. Back down, four toes up, back down, four toes up, back down. Okay, now we're gonna lift all the toes, spread them again. Just big toe down, back up, big toe down, back up. Last one, spread those toes even more, big toe down, back up. Last one here, we call it the piano key. This is the most challenging, it's gonna take the most practice, okay? So we're gonna lift all those toes. I'm gonna go pinky toe down, fourth toe down, third toe down, second toe down, big toe down, okay? Lift them all up again. Always trying to spread more into abduction. Balls of your toes stay down, pinky toe down, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. Last one, lift all up again. Here we go. Spread them even more. Go even slower, even more control. Just pinky toe, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. Now as I kind of go up on the toes, kind of just get them moving again. So that's one thing, if you haven't done that before, it's going to take a lot of practice, but the more you do it, practice it every day. And we talk about get your morning routine cars in, do your toe cars, do your cars before you warm up, do them before you go for a run, do them before you go to bed. The more repetition you can get with your cars at all your joints, but especially the feet, is going to be definitely beneficial for kind of gaining more access to more range of motion, retaining the motion that you have, and then getting more control over your joints, okay? So from here, we're gonna go into what's called hip capsule cars. The focus of today's class will be on our hips, so we wanna really just make sure that we're getting good motion out of those hips. We're getting a nice warmed up before we kind of get to work, okay? So we'll start with the sideline hip car. Okay, so we're gonna go block. You can use that as a pillow here, put on the side, or if you don't have one, you can always just use your arm as that pillow as you pull in. A lot of you may not have your own blocks, I'll go without them. We're going to lay on your side, so I'm going to think force engaged. Knees are about 45 degrees. I'm going to take my top hand, press it into the floor, and then just use my bottom arm for some stability. Not only pressing into the floor, but also as a little pillow as I rest my head, okay? Bottom leg will steadily press down on the ground, give you more stability through here. I'm just going to start with a hip capsule car from this called Flexion abducted position. Okay, so kind of open up as much as I can here towards the back wall behind me without rotating my body off the ground, right? So that's why pressing the leg down will help, pressing the arm down will help. Here, I'm lifted, and I'm shooting 3 capsule cars. So that's just going to be internal, external rotation of this hip. So I think internally rotate, my foot will rotate back to the wall behind me. So that's the femur rotating in. External rotation, femur rotates out. Foot rotates in front of me. That's 1. So we'll go 2 more. So if you ever do capsule cars, think rotate out as far as you can, find your end, and then push into that boundary, fight for a little bit more range. External rotation, push in that boundary, fight for a little bit more range. Okay, one more time. We're pulling for about 3 to 5 seconds at each end position. Find your end, fight for a little bit more. Last one, external rotation. Find your end, keep that knee right where it's at. Push that heel forward, rotate. All right, come on. Okay, our next one, we're gonna go up into a hip flexion position. We're gonna lift just a little bit. From here, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna think external rotation, find your end, push in that boundary, so it's in the thigh step working there. And then internal rotation, so I'm back to neutral, and then internally rotate. My femur rotates in, my foot rotates out. Okay, 2 more there. So find your end, back for more, find your end, back for a little bit more, so 1 more, drive down, squeeze the inner thigh, work that hip, last one, internal rotate, find your end, push, 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 back for a little bit more. Very good. That's 3 on the left. We're going to switch sides. 3 on the right. Here, I'll take 45-degree bend of the knees. I will press my hand into the floor for stability. Make sure that core is engaged. Make sure everything is exactly where it should be. From there, I will go press down to the floor. arms down on the ground, bottom arm is down. I'm going to come up, hip flexion, abduction. So I'm trying to open up as much as I can towards the wall behind me without the body rotating out of position. Right, so here, internal rotation, foot rotates back to the wall behind me. External rotation, foot rotates forward in front of the body. I know the internal external rotation may be confusing because it feels like it's flipped. But think internal rotation, my femur, my upper leg rotates in, so rotate my foot back. External rotation, femur rotates external, rotates out for my foot to rotate in. Okay, let's go one more there. Internal rotation, find your end, push, push, push into that boundary, back a little bit more, put some outer hip work in there, and then external rotation as I rotate in, with the inner thigh working to pull that foot forward. Okay, from there I will go into flexion, and lift just a little bit, release some clearance from the ground, and then externally rotate. Find your end, pushing that boundary back a little bit more. Internally rotate, try to lift that foot as high as you can, just get that outer hip working. Pull up internally, let's go 2 more. Squeeze, find your end, fight for more. Internal rotation, find your end, push, push, push into that boundary. Always trying to push that range of motion, gain better control, better strength, better understanding of what your end ranges are. If you find yourself here and you're hitting the ground, you can always lift that leg, rotate more external rotation, and rotate up, fight. Most people, that's going to be a little bit more challenging for that outer hip working as you try to pull that foot up in the air and then come back down. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of flexion extension work on this right hip while we're here, and then we'll switch to the other side. So it's just flexion, pulling the knee up towards the chest, extension, guiding my hip back to the wall behind me, just to get a little bit more understanding of the tissues we're going to be training today. Okay, so think top hand presses down, same position here. I'm just going to pull that knee up, so I don't want to think around my lower spine, right? So the body stays tight, core engaged. Just pull that knee up, feel that hip flexion working. And then as I step back to the wall behind me, driving the heel back to the wall, feel that glute working, make sure the core stays engaged and we're not arching that lower back and moving through the spine. Okay, let's get 2 more. Flexion, extension. That's 1, flexion, same thing. Find your end, pushing that boundary, feel that hip flexion working. Last 1, hip extension. That's our glute muscle that you hear about all the time, right? Grab that foot back to the wall, back to center. Let's go switch to the other side. 1 more time here. Laying on that arm. Knees about 45 degrees. Top hand presses down. Core is engaged. Flexion. Knee pulls up. Hip flexion there. And then glute turns on as I drive back to that wall behind me, trying to press my heel back out my spine, change position. As core is engaged, hip flexion, hip extension. So a lot of my clients like to feel the hip working as you pull up, and then as you pull back, feel everything that's going on in there. Make sure the core stays engaged, press it onto the floor, drive that cable wall behind you. Come back to center. Very nice. Hopefully the session nice and warm. Okay. So we'll get into what's called hip extension tails and rails. Okay, so hip extension tails and rails, like all of our other tails and rails, we'll hold for about 2 minutes in the passive stretch component that we call it. And then we'll do about a 10-second rim into the tails contraction, and then we'll hold our max effort. So it could be for today, if you've never done it, 60% or 80%. Or if you've done these before, or if you really want to get a good stretch, really get a good contraction, we'll do about 100% maximum voluntary contraction. So that means your maximum effort, and then we'll do about a 15 to 20 second rails contraction, and then we'll relax, and then we'll do 2 rounds, hip extension tails rails. We'll do some kinetic stretching, and then we'll switch sides. Okay, so first one here, if you have a mat, if you have something that's a cushion under the knee, I definitely recommend you use it. If you have a towel, something, or pillow, something to throw under the knee, because this could be uncomfortable if you have sensitive knees, or if you have any knee issues. Definitely try to make the adjustments to make this comfortable for you as possible. Okay. Recommend you have a wall next to you, or a couch, or a table, or a chair, something you can use for stability, so you don't have to worry about balancing here. Because we'll be in this half kneeling position for quite a little bit of time. Okay, so what you'll do is you can tuck that toe, or tucking the toe makes the knee uncomfortable. By all means, you can definitely just keep that toe untucked, keep that knee there, and then think, hold on to the wall, hold on to the stability point that you have so you can make sure that you're getting the best stretch here you possibly can. Okay, so I'm going to think posterior pelvic tilt, right? So I'm going to imagine my hips are like a bucket of water, right? Anterior tilt to dump the water forward. I'm trying to posterior tilt, dump that water behind me, right? So as I tuck that tailbone underneath, I want to push for a good stretch on my hip flexor there. I'm going to squeeze this glute nice and tight, and for about 2 minutes, we're just going to stretch that hip. Okay, so we don't need to. See, a lot of the times people do this crazy hip flexor stretching there. We will maybe do a little bit of kinetic stretching to get into a position that looks like that, but we're going to be doing it much different. Okay, so we're going to think here, tuck that tailbone, squeeze that glute, get a good stretch on that hip flexor, and then while we hold this stretch, while we breathe, I'll explain our Pales Rails protocol. Okay, so whenever we're holding these passive stretches, whether we're doing Pales Rails for the passive stretch for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, the longer you can hold that stretch, most people do better, but if it's new for you, definitely don't go right into it, super crazy long stretches. We just want to make sure that we're doing about 4 to 5 second inhale, right? So stomach expands out on the inhale, 4 to 5 seconds, and then stomach ribs come down on the exhale for about 8 to 10 seconds, right? So we're going twice as long on the exhale as we are on the inhale, because that exhale, that relaxation is really going to allow us to get deeper into that stretch, right? So in this case, trying to get more posterior pelvic tilt and slightly come forward, very slightly come forward. We don't want to lose that spine position. We find ourselves going forward to the point where we need to arch. Now we're using spine, and we really want to be focusing on hip. Okay, so 4 second inhale, 8 second exhale, preferably into the nose, out through the nose. Just trying to relax as much as possible. Okay, so our Pales contraction, I'm going to be tucking that tailbone, and I'll be tensioning the knee like I'm trying to drive the knee forward and up, right? So as if I was doing that motion. But because the knee's locked into the floor, we're not going to be moving, right? It's called isometric contraction. I'm trying to tension the knee and drive the knee forward deeper into that stretch. It will build that up for 10 seconds, and then we'll do 10-second max effort hold, and then our rails will go right into it. We're going to drive knee tension back, right? So again, knee won't move, but the tension now drives back behind me, and I'm trying to tuck that tailbone even more as I get deeper into that stretch for that rails contraction. We'll recover for about 30 seconds, and then we'll do another set, okay? So then tuck that tailbone, take a breath in, brace that core, and then slowly start tensioning that knee forward about 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. So max effort for 10. 9, drive that knee forward, drive that knee forward, drive that knee forward. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Drive back, tuck that tailbone more, drive back, drive back, drive back, drive back. Tuck that tailbone, tuck that tailbone, tuck that tailbone for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good, so as you relax, you should feel, because we're already trying to pelvic tilt, right? So as you relax, see if you can get more pelvic tilt, so you can get deeper in that stretch. You can start to press that hip forward just a little bit, get a deeper stretch on the hip flexor, quad musculature, okay? Let's recover, even more focus on that breathing here, right? 4 second inhale, 8 second exhale, preferably into the nose, out to the nose. Continue to squeeze that glute, tuck that tailbone under you, and let's get set up for our next set. So you want maximum body tension here, right? So squeeze the fist, brace that core, get everything nice and tight. So take a breath in, pack the air down, right? So get nice and tight throughout the whole body, and then start tensioning that knee, and we're trying to drive forward and up. So we're using everything that we've just been stretching there. Drive that knee forward, keep building that contraction up about 50%. Good, 70%, 90, tension, and 100 for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Drive that knee back. Tuck that tailbone more. Switch directions of that tension with that knee. Tuck that tailbone, tuck that tailbone, tuck that tailbone. Knee drives back. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. You need to give that knee a little break. Get that foot out to the side, shake it out a little bit. You've never done that before, that's going to be quite a new experience, quite a new feeling for you. But again, like I said at the beginning, if you find yourself sitting a lot, if you find yourself in that shortened hip flexor position, hip flexors tend to get very weak, and then they come across as tight, right? So we want to strengthen, but also lengthen, right? So that's what true mobility is: stretching, getting more flexibility, but adding strength within that to get more mobile, fluid hips. Okay, so let's get back in that same position you're in. This is called a kinetic stretch. So we're not going to be super pelvic tilted here. We're just going to come back to neutral. Take my front foot forward just a little bit. This is where we'll definitely want some balance support here. I'm going to do 5 reps of a 5-second kinetic stretch. So I'm going to think, drive my knee forward. So I'm tensioning forward, getting that stretch there. And then I'm slowly keeping my core engaged. Just going to slide forward, deeper into that stretch. But notice as I come forward, I'm not arching through my spine. Ribs stay down, core stays engaged. And I'm just increasing the length of that stretch, okay? So we're tensioning, getting a nice much contraction, and then we're using that tension to pull us deeper into that stretch. Okay, let's go 5-second reps. So foot slides out just a little bit, use some balance support here. Brace that core, right? Take a breath in. Full body tension, right? Tension through the core, tension through the shoulders, tension through that hip, trying to drive that knee forward, okay? And then let's go 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Your end may be different than mine, right? Your end may be here, your end may be way down here. Okay, so it's all about what works for you. Use your body awareness to make sure that you're getting a good stretch on that hip flexion as you drive forward, and we're not getting a crazy lumbar spine arch. That's not necessarily bad per se. There is ways to do it that way as well. But for the sake of today's focus, try and stack those ribs over those hips, good tension forward, get that stretch, feel that there, and then as we lean forward, core stays engaged for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back in. That's 2, okay? Tension forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back in, that's 3, okay? Full body tension. Knee drives forward, get that tension, pull yourself deeper into that stretch. 3, 2, 1. The last one, come back up, start position, everything's stacked. Drive that knee forward, get a good stretch on that hip flexor. As I lean forward, deeper into that stretch, put those hip flexors on stretch while we're contracting, and that is the true kinetic stretch. And back to start. Very good. So that was 2 sets of pivot drills, 1 set of 5 kinetic stretching on the left knee. So that's it. And go to the right hip. Okay, so I'm going to same setup, same position I was in. I did the left side with my foot untucked. You can do, if you did the left side with your foot untucked, I would say do the right side with your foot untucked. But by all means, if the knee doesn't bother you here, it's slightly better to have your toe tucked because that helps you get more force, more drive going forward, right? So I'm going to do my right side with my toe tucked just so you guys can see the difference. If you want to try it out, you want to feel the difference between sides, by all means you can do that this way, and then next time whatever you like more, whatever you like better, do it that way, right? So always want to go for comfort though, right? So make sure that the knee's not painful, so we can focus as much as we can on that hip. Okay, so let's go 2-minute stretch, tucking that tailbone, right? Posterior pelvic tilt, dumping that water out behind me. Okay, that's the secret to getting better hip flexor stretch versus you see a lot of people again doing this crazy stretch here, which can get some benefits, but we want to make sure we're getting a better pelvic tilt, better hip flexor stretch. Squeeze that glute, core stays engaged. Use that balance support if you need it. We're going to hang out here for about 2 minutes. Okay, so think 4 count, 4 to 5 count inhale, back from that breath, right? So stomach expands. Twice as long on the exhale as the inhale. Keep tucking that tailbone. Every exhale so you can get a millimeter further into that stretch, so you can get a better posterior pelvic tilt. Get as much out of this position as you can during this time. Trying to really work to relax that nervous system, bring everything down so you can get as deep into that stretch as you possibly can. Okay? So again, Tails contraction, I'm building up for 10 seconds. I'm holding max effort for 10 seconds, trying to drive my knee forward and up. Okay, so we're going to use everything that we can stretch in there. And then our rails contraction, that would be getting more posterior pelvic tilt while I'm driving my knee tension back. So we'll do that about 15 to 20 seconds. We'll recover about 30. We'll recover, back into our next set, and then we'll do our next stretch. Okay, so pelvic tilt, I like to go right hand on my pelvis, just remind me to get as much out of that tilt as I can. Okay, take a breath in, start building that contraction up, driving that knee forward at 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100% effort for 10, 9, 8, 7, should be shaking, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Drive that knee back, press that hip forward into more posterior pelvic tilt. Knee tension is going away from my body. Drive forward, pelvic tilt, pelvic tilt, pelvic tilt. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Stay in that pelvic tilt. As you relax, you should be able to get more, slightly more pelvic tilt, even if it's only a centimeter. We're trying to get more tucked under, more of a glute squeeze, more hip extension as I'm feeling that hip flexor opening up. Okay, so this is more if you're a cyclist, if you're working at a desk, if you're a runner, this stretch here, these tails and rails can work wonders for you. Okay, so it's going to take repeated effort, focus as we go through this process, but as you do it more, as you continue to kind of build in, increase those contractions, increase the length of time you can stretch, those hips will feel better, trust me. Okay, cover, pelvic tilt, keep trying to squeeze a little bit more out of it. We're going to do this one more time. Okay, so take a breath in, back here, down that lower abdomen, pelvic tilt, start driving that knee forward for our tails contraction. Build that contraction up for 30, 50%, 70%, keep going, keep going, keep going, 90%, 100% effort driving forward for 2, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rails, drive that knee back, tuck that tailbone more, drive that knee back, tuck that tailbone more for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax deeper into that posterior pelvic tilt. So you can squeeze out a little bit more, take a breath. And relax, okay? You're gonna shake it out, you can. If you need to give that knee a little break, you can. We're gonna go into our kinetic stretching here, okay? So I'm gonna pull my front foot out just a little bit, because as I lean forward, I'm going to get a little bit deeper in that stretch, okay? Use that arm for stability. I like to get right hand on that hip. Subtle pelvic tilt, doesn't need to be quite as aggressive as our tails and rails. I'm gonna start driving that knee forward. As I drive forward, keep everything stacked over the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. Okay, that's 1. Drive that knee forward, get that tension on the front of the hip. Hold myself deeper into that stretch. Isometric contraction here. As I drive deeper. And 2. Okay, 3 more here. Okay, drive forward, drive that knee up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back in. We should be shaking at the end of that. That just means that we're in a range of motion that our body is not truly comfortable in because we don't go there all the time, right? 2 more here. Move guys forward. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Give your best effort. Neutral hip. Drive that knee forward. Get a good stretch on that anterior hip flexor here. As I 5, 4. Pull yourself deeper. 3, 2, 1. Back. Start position. Okay, so that was hip extension, tails and rails. So we're just going to introduce the hip flexor tails and rails today. So we're going to do one set of tails and rails at 3 different positions for each hip flexor. Okay, so typical tails and rails will hold for about 2 minutes in each individual stretch. But for the sake of these hip flexors, for the sake of today's class, we're not going to hold the true 2-minute stretch, but we will still do our 15 to 20 second tails, 15 to 20 second rails for each position. We'll switch sides, and then we'll do some standing, what's called passive range holds for hip flexion. Okay, so when we start on our back, right, so it's called supine position. Since we just worked the right hip, I will start on the left hip. Okay, so we are in supine. I'm going to pull my left knee up to just straight up to my chest. Okay, so that first position. Second position will be towards the armpit. And third position will be all the way out, making sure that both sit bones are still on the floor, so I'm not all the way open up this way, but I'm out as far as I can be here. Okay, so we'll pull right up into the chest. If you are super mobile, you can by all means go into a headlock position, pull that knee up as high as you possibly can. You can hold the knee kind of tucked here. You can go here. We just want to get that hip flexor to its end range position, get a good deep contraction, pales and rails in that hip flexor here, okay? So our first one, our pales will be driving out of this position, right? So I'm trying to stay here, arms are locked in, so as I drive this way, I'm not actually moving, but the contraction will be moving that direction. And then my rails, I'm gonna pull, so I'm gonna actively with my knee, with my hip flexion, pull my knee up towards my chest, and I will release my hands and hold that position there, pulling deeper into hip flexion. Okay, let's get set up with it here. Knee into the chest. Other leg is just straight, pressing the floor. Make sure my lower back is pressed into the ground here. I don't want to be arching. Okay, so I'm here, pull up into that stretch, and then start building that tails up. I'm driving my leg down in my hands. 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, and 100% effort for 10, 9, right, out of it, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Pull that knee up, arms come away, pulling that knee towards the chest as much as I possibly can. Should feel some good deep hip flexion contraction there as I pull up into my chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, I'm gonna come out towards my armpit. So over here, and then come out just a little bit. Knee pulls up into the armpit. Make sure we're breathing. Use this time to relax. Belly breathe. Let that heart rate come down a little bit. Okay, so let's get set up for our second pales raise on this side. Get set, and knee pulls up towards the armpit and start driving that leg down into the hands. Track everything that you're feeling on the stretch here. Drive down, drive down, drive down, drive down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Pull that knee up toward the armpit. Keep driving up, keep driving up, keep driving up. Pull it, pull it, pull it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Last position here. Open up even more. So the first one's towards the chest, second one's towards the armpit. This knee will come out towards my same side shoulder. Other hand can press into the floor for stability on this side. You want to make sure that both sit bones are in the ground here. We're not allowing ourselves to open up. Okay, so get a good position there. This is a good time where you can hook the arm under. That would give you a good positional stretch there. So a good stretch on the other side of the leg here. Pull my knee up towards my same side arm, same side shoulder. Take a breath in. Raise that core, start driving out into that position for 20%, 40%, 60%. You can use the other arm for stability. You can do that as well, 80 and 100 for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pull up into that rails contraction. Pull that knee up towards that same side shoulder. Feel all that inner hip flexion work in there as you drive up. Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come down. She feels good hip flexion contraction there. As I switch to the other side, I'm going to go into right side hip flexion pillar row. Hold it down with one in each position. Do some passive range holds. Okay. Like back in that supine position here. I'm going to pull my right knee up towards my chest. As we do so here, just put a good stretch for the glute, underside of the leg. That's the stuff that we're stretching, and that's the stuff we're going to contract as I drive into that pills contraction. Okay? So the arms don't allow any movement as I drive in that pills, right? I want to stay as far up into that hip flexion as possibly can. Try not to give any length as I work that pills contraction. Okay, so just work on your breathing. Good stretch on the other side of the hip. Good contraction on that hip flexor as we do our rails. That is the same stuff that you're going to feel when we do our passive range holds. Okay, so hook that knee under if you need to. You can grab the knee from the top side, or you can hold underside of the leg, whatever allows you to be most comfortable and gives you the most stability as you drive down. Okay, so get set. I'll be here for the first one. Build that contraction out, take a breath in. Start driving down at 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100% for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Pull off and move the arms. Pull that knee as far up to your chest as you can. Make those hip flexors work. Keep driving. Keep pulling up. Get more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out towards the armpit. Okay. It's the second position here. So if you can pull it a little higher, by all means do so. You can hook the around like the top, like we said. You can go under the leg. I like to go under the leg and go to the outside. So I'm just going to pull both arms over the shin towards my armpit here. Take a breath in. Pat gear down, back stays flat. Start driving out of it at 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, 100% for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and raise. Pull, remove the arms, pull up towards the armpit, make that hip flexor cramp. Keep working, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last position here. Knee drives towards the same side shoulder. Other arm is down for stability. Hips are on the floor. Back is pressed down. If you want to go towards the outside here, you can do that. If you want to use both arms or grab the other arm around the wrist, you can do that as well. Pull up as high as you can with a good stretch on the underside of the leg. Take a breath in. Release that core and start driving out of it at 20, 40, 60%, 80%, 100% output for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, good, 3, 2, 1, and rails. Pull, pull up, pull up, pull up. Keep that hip outside. Both sit bones are on the floor. Keep driving that knee up towards the same side shoulder. Keep pulling up. Feel that hip flexor working here. 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come out of it there. Very nice. That was one set. Pills and rails at 3 different positions. Okay, from here, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to pull my camera up so you can see me here. I'm going to do passive range holds. So it's going to be very similar to what we just did with our rails contraction. So we're going to do 1 set, 5-second hold, straight forward, 1 set out towards the armpit, 1 set out towards that same side shoulder. Okay? So I'll go from the side this first one, and then I'll do my second set facing straight ahead. But by all means, use something for stability. So you don't have to worry about the balance. You can really just focus on that hip flexor. Okay, so we just did the right side. Go back to the left side hip flexor. We'll do 1 set, 3 positions, 1 set, 3 positions on the right, and we'll finish the cars. Okay? So I'm gonna hold the side, hold the wall here, or hold whatever I have for stability, whether it's a couch, chair, table. I'm gonna do the same thing I just did, right? So inside leg is locked out. Like I'm working, I will pull that hip, pull that knee up towards my chest. Get as much passive range as you can, right? We're always gonna have more passive than active, right? So as we pull into this position, you're gonna get set, you're gonna brace your core, and then you're gonna release. You're gonna try not to let that knee drop at all, okay? So that's our active range, right? This is passive, you know, we can hold with our active, okay? So pull up, get a good stretch. Get as tall as you can, lock out that inside leg. Take a breath in, and release in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come down, okay? So go out towards the armpit, pull up in as much range as you can, inside leg is locked out. As high as you can go with that knee, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and when you come down, you can. The last one, pull up, out towards that same side shoulder, brace that core, inside the leg locks out, and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Okay, so do our second time, we'll be facing you so you can see the different angles. Okay, so like, again, right, I'm going to be using just the balance, but we want to make sure that we're using something for stability so that we can get as much out of that hip that we're working as possible. Okay, one set forward, one set side, one set fully abducted, but we don't want to rotate through there, right? So I'm going to think inside leg locked, pull up as much as I possibly can towards that same side chest, get set, brace that core, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, drive that knee up, 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 and 1. Okay. Then we'll be towards the armpit. Inside leg locked. Other arm for stability. Get nice and tall. Brace that core and release. 5. Drive that knee up towards the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. So I'm going to abduct, right? So as I abduct, I don't want to rotate out of that position, right? So just think, knee goes as far as you can before your pelvis rotates, okay? Last one here, okay? Inside leg is locked out. Pull up, out towards that same side shoulder. It's kind of more of a squat stance for a lot of people. Lock the leg out, brace that core, pull up as much as you can to passive range, and release. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back down. Very nice. And hip flexors should be nice and toasty now. Okay, so we're going to finish with 2 sideline hip bars on each side. Okay, so if you have the block, use the block for stability. I'm going to pull the camera down just a little bit. Okay, so let's go sideline hip cars. 2 on my left hip, 1 on my right side. Pull down, knee pulls up, open, internally rotate around the back. The extension, open, and come over. Okay, so the hip flexion, the extension should feel quite a bit different than you did in the beginning of the workout. That's good. So we'll work on that. Last one here. Knee up into flexion. Feel those hip flexors work. Core stays engaged. Abduction, internal rotation. Come around. Find that heel back. Extend back. Lift. Over. Hip flexors working. And through. Okay, let's put 2 on the right side. And we are done. Keep arm as a pillow. Top arm for stability. Core stays engaged. 45-degree bend in the knees. I'm going to think hip flexion, only hip flexion, right? I don't want to flex at my spine. Abduction. Internal rotation. Extension. Come around. As I come back here, you should feel a hip extension, feel that glute working, drive back, lift that leg over the top. Last one, here, the best one. Biggest possible circle you can at the hip. Only the hip. Over and around. Last one. Heel drives you back. Lift that leg. Come over. Very good. Thank you for joining me today's class, focused on hip flexion, hip extension. Like I said, you're something you sit at a desk a lot, you sit in a car, you sit on a bike, you sit in a plane. The more we can open up those hip flexors, Again, coupled with our internal external rotation work, doing more cars, the more focus you can get in those hips, especially daily, the better everything is going to feel. Okay, so again, thank you for joining me in today's class. It was a blast. Hope to see you on my next one. Thank you.